analysis shows that integrity is not just a value or a virtue, but it's also a skill. And part of my organization's duty is to build that bridge from value to having the actual technical skills in integrity, in operationalizing integrity. So, as you also we have all seen in the last few months how the lockdowns caused by the COVID-19 pandemic has really caused the whole world to rethink everything that we have done. And it's quite ironic that a small bug has simply opened our eyes to how sensitive and how fragile this whole global economic system we have built. Um, the larger the global supply chain has become, has shown that it's the vulnerability is also distributed throughout the chain, and at the end is of course the grassroots facing the brunt. Now we need to have honest conversations with ourselves uh, that just giving out aid and cash and charities is just not the solution. And this is where I think governments, the corporate sector, civil society needs to show the integrity of praxis in how we deal with the problem. Um, Go back to grassroots centric needs, the needs of those on the margins, those who have been left out of society's decision making. Bring them back. Definitely, it will have an impact on those big profits we have been talking about in the business world, and it may affect some of the so-called GDP measurement analytics that the governments need to show competitive markets. But this is where we need to be honest with how we deal with social justice and relook the mechanics involved. Because if we are just here to give charity, which I'm not saying stop, we continue, but we have to go to the next step. And and I think the power structures that want the status quo also has to be dismantled, and of course they will be backlash, but if we don't do it, we'll just be reinventing a whole new system, a whole new capitalist system that will reinvent itself using the same model but different tools, and it's just a matter of time before it collapses again. So this is something that we need to be honest with ourselves. And for me, once again, it is about integrity and social justice coming together. So uh, my 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 gut feeling, and also for what I've seen on the ground, is the the people involved have to come together. Um, yes, even with people who we are not comfortable with, people who we have seen as enemies in the past, um, people who have been on the opposite side of the divide. We need to find ways to engage, help people rethink the whole distribution of wealth, rethink the whole access to justice. What does it mean to practice all these different values within this whole uh, pandemic situation? So it's it's an important time in history that has given us a pause button, but we have to use it wisely. We need to stop. We need to relook things and bring in all the communities who have been on the margins back to the center. Those who have been excluded, those who have been marginalized, we need to bring them back. And it's not going to be easy. We have already seen resistance from different actors, from different politicians. Um, Even we have seen church leaders still happy in their comfort zones, delivering aid. And not only that, we have seen church leaders using their branding in the work of others, claiming uh, that they have been part of the solutions. So the skills that we don't have is something that, in this time of pause, we're supposed to regroup, rethink, um, look, come together, and not repeat the same mistakes, because this time we don't have time. Time has run out. If it's not the virus that will get to us, climate change, climate injustice is going to be really massive in its effects on the planet. The biodiversity loss that we are facing from the environmental destruction, the loss from the rising waters, gonna cause a type of problem which we are still not ready and equipped to solve. And it's just a matter of time before it hits us hard. I was very sad to see the Philippines having to constantly face these super typhoons that that are so abnormal and can be said as a direct result of the climate change. And unfortunately, they are paying the price for pollutions uh, by polluters from the bigger or the more developed countries. So it's the effect as we spread globalization using capitalism. The effects are also globalized, and unfortunately, people who are not involved, or people who are at the grassroots, are the ones to face the consequence. And this is why we need more interaction, we need more solidarity building uh, outside our comfort zone. Yes, including with people who we have been treating as enemies, or people who have been seen as the at the root causing the root causes of this problem. So I hope together we can continue the discussions on operationalizing integrity at the different stages of our social justice and social change, and even democratic processes. What does it mean? So I'd like to end here, and I hope we can all work together. Feel free to contact the North South Initiative, and we can look for solutions together. Thank you.